Welcome, my name is Ari. I live in northern New York and this is my first YouTube video I have ever created for my knitting channel. Since this is my first time, I would like to talk about little bit of myself and then talk about introducing some projects that I have finished and currently working on. So I started to knit about 11 years ago. I was introduced to knitting by my coworker, and as soon as I started, I instantly fell in love. Ever since, I always have work in progress projects on the counter. I'm stashing up the yarn, which my husband wasn't very impressed about. And there's always new techniques to learn, new stitches to learn. So I've been enjoying for a long time as a hobby. Up until last year, I finally decided to take that to the next level and started my own knitting business. It is basically a gift shop, so I knit product for other people. And then this summer I finally started to make pattern. I always liked making pattern my own, but I never made it to the official pattern for other people to see. So I just started doing that this summer, and along the way, there were few comments that people were saying, I wish I know how to knit, I wish I could knit like you. And that made me think, why don't I share my skill with other people? So start to think, well, I can make this easy pattern for beginners and maybe I can create tutorials and attach the link to the patterns and maybe do the knit along video. But part of me was stopping from doing that because clearly you can tell I have an accent and I didn't grow up in United States. So having this heavy accent was always a downside in my mind, and that always stopped me from making video or making blog. But really was excited with this idea of doing it, and I told myself maybe I can do it in Japanese. But the funny thing is, I don't know nothing about knitting in Japanese because when I started, I was in middle of Vermont where no Japanese are living, and I'm now in northern New York because I got married, and also there is no Japanese people around here. So everything I learn about knitting always has been in English. So if you ask me and bring the Japanese pattern and tell me to translate, I probably have to look up every single stitch names on Google to kind of match up what I know in English and what that means in Japanese. So it's really funny, like I'm from Japan, but I don't know nothing about knitting in Japanese. So it didn't make any sense for me to create a YouTube channel and a blog in Japanese, and my whole entire living is here now. I have 2 kids, I've been living here for a long time, so why do I start my business in Japanese? It just didn't make any sense. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do everything in English, and along the way I'd like to learn knitting in Japanese and be able to translate Japanese pattern into English and English patterns into Japanese. That's something part of my goal. Someday maybe I can do that. But yes, I remember one phrase said, do it afraid. Do some things that make you afraid, because the growth doesn't happen inside of the comfort zone. If you like to grow, then you have to go outside of your comfort zone, and I think it was my case. I have to go outside of my comfort zone, get so nervous and get scared, but I think there's a good things ahead of this. So that's why I finally decided I am going online, I am making a YouTube video, I am going to meet more fun people, and I can share my skills and hopefully grow future knitholic like me. So that's my history and that's my story, And since it's a knitting channel, let me share a couple of my finished products which I worked on a long time ago, and then few projects that I've been working on. So the first project I like to share is this beautiful shawl, scarf. It's a lace scarf, and I think I knit this about 9 years ago. I was still in Vermont, and I went to the local store and I found this beautiful pattern printed out. It's called Gale from Knitspot, and I just loved the pattern, and I asked the shop owner, I really like to make this, but I was still somewhat new knitter and I didn't know what to get, and she recommended me to get this beautiful yarn, and it was fall or winter time, or maybe the end of summer, something like that. I really wanted to have fall color, and this is the yarn I ended up with, and it's so beautiful. It's really light, but it's really warm, and you can see the color. It's not just a solid orange color, but it has a nice beautiful dark red and orange and light yellow mixed together, and it's not like significant difference between colors. It's just a nice blended all together, nicely blended all together. And this yarn is called Sweetgeorgia. The tag looks like this. I don't know if their tag is still the same, but this is the one I found, and the yarn name is Tough Love Sock, and 80% superwash merino wool and 20% nylon. I wear this every single fall, every single winter. Even winter time, it's still nice and warm. Even it's sock yarn, lightweight, but I think because of its merino wool, every year I get compliment from other people, like not same people who had seen this, but in the store or strangers, like, did you knit this? It's so beautiful. So that's the best part, right? You're making something and people just look at it, and even strangers, and come up to you and said, oh my goodness, you did a great job. So that's always a fun part, I think. And then we start talking about knitting and you get to know each other. So yes, this is one of the projects I wanted to share because it's fall time, and I thought this color is perfect. So that was 6 years ago, and I think I made this cardigan about the same time range. I'm pretty positive the yarn came from the same yarn store, which unfortunately not in town anymore in Vermont. But this one is from Knitwave magazine, and the beautiful part is this back panel. It's so beautiful. It's just, you start knitting from the middle, so you only have like a few stitches, and keep adding stitches and create this beautiful pattern, and you make this back panel, and then later on you start adding different sections to make the cardigan. Okay, so I was deep into shooting video, and my kids' school bus came, so I had to run really quick downstairs to get them, since they are still little. They are pre-K and first grade, so school bus driver is not going to let them out unless I'm there visibly knowing that there is an adult at the house. Anyways, they all settled down, and dad is home, surprisingly. He's usually working until later. So yeah, he's there, and I can continue with this video, which is great. I think I was talking about the cardigans that I'm wearing, and I was about to say where I got the pattern. So I got it from Interweave Knits, fall 2011 issue, and the picture looked like this. And I just fell in love right away, and I have this like feeling of I have to make this. So I went to the yarn store and got this pretty yarn, and again it's orange because it was fall knit for me. And the company name is Manos del Uruguay, and I think some people say Uruguay, which I'm not really sure which pronunciation is right, but then I wonder if it's the same thing as pecan, like some people say pecan and some people say pecan. So I don't know if naturally have two different pronunciation. Like if you are native speaker and knowing like which one is right, please let me know. But anyways, it's a beautiful lightweight yarn, and I really love the yarn since it doesn't feel scratchy even though it's a baby alpaca and some cotton. So the blend of alpaca and cotton. It's just so soft, and this cardigan is directly onto my skin, but there's no scratchiness, no itchiness. It's just nice and soft and light. So I really love the cotton. I mean, loves the yarn, but what I was inspired about is that history of the company, that it was established back in 1960s by 5 women, and back then in Uruguay didn't have really good working condition or working source for women, especially in rural area. So these 5 women provided the workplace for those who is in need of income. But the great thing is that they didn't just like say, hey, I have company work for me. They also trying to let those women use their skill to get income. So there are crafts and skills passed down generation to generations. And part of the thing is yarn, making yarn, dyeing yarn. So they provided some equipment, they provided some space for those women to use their skill to get income, which is already amazing. But they didn't stop right there just to let them create income. They also supported those women to have a balance between being business owner, working, and being a mother. I thought it was really inspiring, especially even right now in developed country. I think that's real issue. I feel like it is a real struggle for many women who is working outside, because I used to work outside 40 plus hours, and maternity leave here in United States is very short. So if you get 12 weeks, you are lucky. I think that might have changed recently, like past few years, but 6 years ago, 4 years ago, if you get 12 weeks of maternity leave, that's it. You are lucky, and you're going back to work 12 weeks later and leave that baby at somebody else. That's how it worked out. And having that 12 weeks old baby, handing it down to a daycare provider, and I mean, she was great, and I'm forever grateful who we had. But you're not there with your baby, and you work there all day long, come home at 5:30 and trying to cook dinner, trying to do chores, and trying to spend time. It's really almost impossible in some ways. So yes, I feel like that's still in issue in modern society, that woman is trying to balance between work and being a mother and try to take care of the household. So yeah, I thought this company is very inspiring, and I really like the fact that when I buy this yarn, I'm supporting those people in Uruguay, and they are making life out of using skill and creating income, and that yarn actually support my business also, and support my dream to be a business owner and continue with this knitting business and trying to be with kids. So I just feel this nice positive energy floating and connecting together. I really like that fact, and I really wish this world is more of that positive cycle of love and caring. So I really wanted to share this yarn and company in this first video. So that was that. So those are my projects that I have done long time ago, and next 3 projects are my current project or done recently. So let's check that out. Okay, so this is most recent project that I'm working on. It's actually on my Etsy shop to purchase a finished product, but I've been making this nice, squishy, pretty pumpkin. And it's knitted and has polyfill inside. And I've been using apple branches as a stem, or some of them are cinnamon sticks. It's funny I said cinnamon sticks. My friend just reminded me when I came here first time in 2005, we went to Taco Bell and I wanted to order cinnamon sticks and I couldn't say cinnamon. And I saw my friend. They live in Tennessee, and I just saw my friends. They were visiting a few weeks ago, and her husband back then was boyfriend. He said, "Can you say cinnamon now?" So that was really funny. But anyways, I use cinnamon sticks for stem, and I have so many orders of pumpkins. So literally, my office right now is filled with these little pumpkin, big pumpkin, medium-sized pumpkins. It's just pumpkins everywhere. But yes, this is my recent project that I've been working on. And the other one, I'm almost done. I just need to block this. But I made this scarf. I really wanted to have a lace scarf, but I wanted to create something a little thicker instead of really thin scarf. So I used Cascade 220 Superwash, and the colorway was a really nice light beige that can go with anything during the winter time. So I thought that was perfect. And then the pattern is, the stitches are actually, I'm inspired by book called 280 Japanese Lace Stitches, which again, it's kind of weird that this is Japanese issued book, but I'm reading in English, like why? But it's hard to get Japanese book around here too, so when I saw it on Amazon, it said coming soon. I just pre-ordered it this past spring. But this has really beautiful, beautiful patterns inside. Stitch dictionaries, I should say, and it's just absolutely gorgeous, and I love looking through everything and thinking about, oh, what can I make next? So that's what I was doing in summertime when I got this book, and I really liked this pattern, so I ended up making scarf. And I think I mentioned before, I'm also making a web page and blog. So my goal is to share my pattern online for free, and of course available for purchase as well for Ravelry and Etsy shop. But this is coming soon, so if you like to try knitting this pattern, please come to my page and check it out, please. Okay, so that's the scarf I'm working on, and I forgot to bring my other project I wanted to share. There. Okay, so that's this is like one of my passion, like big passion. I call it wedding shawl just because it's so fine and beautiful lace, but really you can use it anytime. Like during the spring, it's probably the best time, but if you have a different colorway, then you know, fall, summer, spring, anytime. And of course it's perfect for wedding and stuff. So again, I'm trying to share this pattern online once my blog is up and running, so you can knit this for gift too, if you have somebody, friends, family going to be married, and you can use this as a pre-wedding gift to say congratulations. But yes, this is inspired by Estonian knitting. It's called Haapsalu shawl. Honestly, I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, the shawl name, sorry. But there's a couple of really beautiful books came from that, you know, including history and how this shawl has started and used to be sent to kings and queens. And yes, it's very fun to read and fun to look at. I don't have a book right now, but I will put the link down below so you will be able to find out. But yes, this takes forever because it's a fine lace yarn, and honestly this yarn was listed as a lace weight, but I think it's more like a cobweb, so it took forever to finish this, but it's worth it at the end, and after you block it, it's just gorgeous, and you just have this great satisfaction of I did this. So anyways, that's my last project I wanted to share today. So I hope this was a nice, successful first YouTube blog, and I'm sure I'm not getting a lot of views right away, but hopefully someone will find me and be able to say hi. And if you have any like question about either knitting or knitting in Japanese, or if you want translation, I can certainly try to translate, because you know, clearly I know the language, so it's easier for me to take a look at it and try to translate in English. Or if you have question about Japanese culture or language or anything, please leave a comment below and I will reply to you. And if you have any suggestion like how I can improve this video, or any ideas that I should be doing in the future, please let me know. But anyways, I like to connect with people, so please leave a comment and hope to see you again. Thank you for watching till the end. Goodbye.